I'm in my office right now and I decided to film in here because the light is really nice in here because like I got two windows, and then I realized that this one just, it makes me very backlit, and the one next to me is good but like very bright. And I'm also makeupless and I'm wearing a big hoodie and yoga pants because working from home in this climate, nobody wants to look pretty, so this is what you're gonna get from me today. Hello everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the very first book haul of 2020 on my channel. I have all the books here that I have accumulated through the past few months. 3 months? Yeah, because it's April now. And I'm quite happy with myself because I was on a book buying ban for the beginning of January, and I bought my very first book at the very end of January, and since then have been pretty mindful about what I've been bringing into my house. So far, the books that I have hauled, a good percentage of them, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, good percentage, that's not really a good percentage, but 4 of the books that I have hauled so far, and 1 is kind of just under halfway read. But 4 of them I have read, and I have been trying to make sure that the ones that I've hauled into my house are the ones that I read pretty quickly, so that I'm not really adding a lot of unread books onto my TBR, because as you guys know from a previous video of mine, my unread physical TBR is well over 180 books, which has been a task of mine this year to shrink it. Hopefully I can shrink it closer to 100. I'm planning on like revisiting that type of video near the very end of the year to see if I have shrunk that number at all or if I've just kind of balanced it with books I've hauled in, but I'm hoping that my hauls are small and there are very few this year simply because, you know, tackling that physical TBR. But at the very end of this haul, I have a book outlet haul that I just got in yesterday, so I'm very excited about that, and it's the first book outlet order of the year, and probably one of the only ones that I'm going to do, because book outlet is the biggest culprit for me bringing in way too many books because there's just so many good deals on book outlet. But okay, anyways, besides the point, let's get into the books. So the first few that I've hauled, the very first one, I hauled it specifically because I was doing my reading BookTube's favorites, my very first installment, which is Reagan from Bruce Project. I was doing hers, and that was The Lies of Locke, Lamora by Scott Lynch, so you guys can go check out that video. I will link it in the down bar for you to see my full thoughts on this one, but I hauled it and read it right away, which I'm very happy with, and I loved it. So I'm definitely going to be looking into reading the next few books of this eventually later in 2020 because I just really like Scott Lynch's writing style. But basically this is a book about a band of thieves and con artists, and our main character is Locke Lamora, and at the beginning of this he kind of gets himself roped into this heisty type thing. It's not really a heist, but a plan to rob people of a lot of money, because his band of thieves has a reputation in their like city. It's just being a normal band of thieves, but in reality they're the best, and they've gotten like, they have like a crazy amount of gold and jewels and stuff just hidden in a basement somewhere because they can't really do anything with it because they don't have anything to do with it at all. But it's great, it's fabulous, and it just, the adventure in this just keeps going, and it has twists and turns, and it's just fabulous. But anyways, yes, first one I hauled. The next one I got was from a thrift store. So The Lies of Locke, Lamora I bought from Indigo, full price, and then the next one, this one I got at a thrift store at Valley Village here in where I am in Canada, and this one I picked up because I had been seeing on BookTube a lot of people talking about this author, and I was like, I'm really intrigued by her stories, and I don't really know anything about this one, but I know that it has something to do with books, maybe, but it is The 13th Tale by Dan Setterfeld. This is not the cover that's been going around BookTube, but this is the cover that I found. Other than that, I don't really know what this is about. I think it's a mystery. So it says, Angelfield House stands abandoned and forgotten. It was once the imposing home of the March family, fascinating, manipulative Isabel, Charlie, her brutal and dangerous brother, and the wild, untamed twins, Emmeline and Adeline. But Angelfield House conceals a chilling secret whose impact still resonates. Now, Margaret Lee is investigating Angelfield's past, and the mystery of the March family starts to unravel. What has the house been hiding? What is its connection with the enigmatic author Vilda Winter? And what is it in Margaret's own troubled past that causes her to fall so powerfully under Angelfield's spell? So it's a historical type of story. This reminds me a little bit of the Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton, where like someone in the future is investigating something in the past and there's like multiple storylines and different timelines. I love stories like that, so I'm really intrigued to get to this one. The next book I hauled was from Indigo as well, and it is V.E. Schwab's The Near Witch, and I am just a little ways through it. I am really enjoying it. This was her first published novel, I do believe. It is about a town who has like a secret of this Near Witch, and Lexi's our main character, and she, one day, a stranger comes to Near, which never happens because there are rules that there are 3 things that Lexi knows. The Near Witch is only a story told to frighten children. If the wind calls at night, you must not listen. The wind is lonely and always looking for company, and there are no strangers in the town of Near. So at the very beginning, a stranger comes to the town of Near, of course, and then right after that, kids start going missing. So it's a little bit horror-y, and I really, really enjoy the writing style so far, but I need to actually finish this. But yeah, next one. The next book I hauled was also from Indigo, and it's not really a book, it's a writing thing, and it's Coffee Break Writing by John Gillard, sorry. And it is 100 prompts for inspired writing on the go. So basically it's when you take a coffee break, you pull it up and you do the exercise. And I am very intrigued by this because it just seemed like a lot of fun and something very up my alley, because even then, like this one is personification. It's giving human attributes to everyday objects can make them really leap off the page. You can use this impact to create both fun and meaningful descriptions. Follow the steps below to create this personification of objects. So it's just like the steps are right here, and then they give you a few exercises to do. Sometimes they are 1 page, sometimes they are 2 pages, which is fun, and there's different things that they make you do, like a haiku in here. I don't know. I really wanted to give this a try, perhaps for a video, perhaps just for myself, to do more writing. As you guys know, I do writing on my channel, so yeah, this is something that I picked up. It was like $6, so like how could I not? And then I believe on that same day, or I might have bought that one with the Near Witch, I can't remember, but I also picked up Mary Lou's The Kingdom of Back. I picked this up the day that it was released, because I was so ridiculously excited about this, for good reason, because this is, I think, so far my favorite book of the year, possibly of all time. I will put the video that I read this in the down bar so you can hear all my thoughts, but it's just fabulous. So it's basically it's a historical, fantastical retelling of the life of Natural Mozart. That's what it is. It's beautiful, it's lyrical, it's incredible. Read it, please. Then I picked up Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, which I read then for a video, which will be coming up next week because everybody, I put a poll on Instagram and people wanted a book haul instead of the duology challenge video, so that's just going to be pushed to next week, and this is going up Friday. Hello, hi. You're watching this on Friday, but my email keeps going off. I am so sorry. But yes, I bought Crooked Kingdom and I read it within a few days of buying it alongside Six of Crows. So that video, watch out for it. Can't really say link in bio because it's not there yet. But yeah, I also picked up Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, and I read this as well for a video, which has been up on my channel, so I will link that in the description bar so you can go watch it and hear all my incredibly spoilery thoughts about this, one of BookTube's most anticipated releases for March of 2020, and I'm so glad I picked this up. I have a history with the Shadowhunter realm, and I just had to, because The Infernal Devices, which is the trilogy preceding this one in the timeline, is my favorite trilogy of all time, and this follows their kids, so I had to pick it up. And you see Will and Tessa and Jem in this as like adults, which is amazing. Oh, but it's so good. Anyways, I have then hauled 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. I got this at Walmart and it was like 40% off. I got this specifically because I am very intrigued by the plot. It is not a genre of fiction that I usually read. As you guys know on my channel, I'm usually into fantasy, but this is mystery thriller, I do believe. But it is basically, so this guy, he owns a mystery bookstore, and in this mystery bookstore he has written previously and released like a post about the 8 perfect murders in 8 different literary worlds, in 8 different books. And one day somebody starts committing these murders, emulating this list perfectly. So he gets roped into it and stuff ensues. I have avoided this plot like the plague. That's all I want to know. I haven't even read the back because I know that it's going to spoil me for big reveals and stuff in this book. So I'm very excited to read it, and I'm reading it this month. I think I'm going to be buddy reading it with Nori. I will put her channel down below. I just recently found her, and it's so funny that we're both reading this for the Owls as our I can't remember exactly what prompt is for, but it's for the one that's like reading out of your comfort zone. And we both picked this book, so I was like, I reached out and I was like, do you want to buddy read this? So we're going to be buddy reading it this month, which is very exciting, so yes. And now we have come to the book outlet order part of this video. I'm not sponsored by them. I just love them very, very much. They are an incredible online database, or if you actually live in Ontario, there's a store there, like a warehouse that you can go buy, that sells books that are near perfect condition or are perfect condition. They're just publisher rejects because they have like a mark on the pages or something, or they have scratch and dent copies that are like missing a dust jacket or have a rip in them or whatever. But they are for crazy low prices, criminally low prices. But okay, so we're gonna start with the 2 middle grades. As my email keeps popping off on the corner, I'm so sorry. The 2 middle grades, we have The Trouble with Shooting Stars by Meg Canistra. Canistra? Yeah. And this just caught my eye. It is so incredibly beautiful. There's like little gold foil stars, and from what I remember is that this girl, 12-year-old Luna, loves the nighttime more than anything else. It's when no one gives her that look about the half mask she has to wear while healing from a disfiguring car accident. It's also the perfect time to sit outside and draw what she sees, like the boy and girl from the new family next door, zipping out of the window in a Zeppelin and up to the stars. So her neighbors are like fishing for starlight, and I think this is just going to be so beautiful. I'm really, really hoping the writing is beautiful as well. But yes, so excited about this one. The next middle grade is one that I added to my cart, removed off my cart, added back, removed it, added back, removed it, looked on Goodreads to see it, added it back, and I just was like, I was so compelled by this book that I was just like, I don't need it, but I want to know what it is. And it's The Unlikely Story of a Pig in the City by Jodi Kendall, and it's so cute. Look at this cover. She's got a pig in the city. I love it. So, oh, and even look at the back. You got that pig on the back. So basically, Josie Schilling's too big family lives in a too small city house, and sometimes she feels invisible. But all that changes when her brother brings home a tiny piglet he rescued from a farm. Her name is Hamlet, and the moment Josie sees her and holds her, she feels an instant bond. But there's no room for Hamlet in the crowded Schilling household, and whoever heard of keeping a pig in the city? So it's up to Josie to find her forever home. Along the way, she'll learn that what it really means to grow bigger when you always felt small. So I think this is just going to be an adorable story. That's basically it. I don't know. But the cover really compelled me, and like the title really compels me. The Unlikely Story of a Pig in the City. Perfect. And I know she's got another one about dogs. That's like, I think it's the sequel or a companion. It's very similar, but yeah. Okay, so the next 3 are all fantasy because I'm on brand and I'm very excited about these. So yeah, we'll just start with this one. So this is Child of a Mad God by R.A. Salvatore. I have been looking for new fantasy authors to branch out to, because I'm trying to read more high fantasy and get into the worlds more, because YA fantasy sometimes just doesn't cut it for me anymore. But I watch a lot of Holly. I know her name, Holly. I think it's Books with Holly? I'm not sure. I can't remember her channel name, but I watch a lot of her, and she is a fantasy queen, and so she has read and reviewed this trilogy, I do believe, and it just really compels me. And R.A. Salvatore is like a huge name in fantasy, huge name. So I don't really even know what this is about. I like the idea of it. When Aelin loses her parents, she is left to fend for herself among a tribe of vicious barbarians. Bound by rigid traditions, she dreams of escaping to the world beyond her mountain home. The only hope for achieving the kind of freedom she searches for is to learn how to wield the mysterious power used by the tribe's coven, known as the Song of Uskar. Thankfully, Aelin may be the strongest witch to have ever lived, but magic comes at a price. Ooh, I love when magic comes at a price. Yes, Rumpelstiltskin coming in here. Anyways, I know that this is set in the world that he has written in previously. I've never read an R.A. Salvatore, but I've checked, and I don't need to read any of the other ones to understand what's going on in here, so that's good. But I'm really hoping I love it, and I'm hoping it's incredible. But I've heard it's also really dark, so yes, we love dark fantasy. The next one is a book I simply picked up because I have been absolutely obsessed with Merlin, the TV show, and everything that has to do with King Arthur, and like the you know, round table and all that. And this one was pitched as Outlander meets The Mists of Avalon meets like that kind of vibe, and I loved Outlander when I read it, and I love that vibe. So I had to pick this up, and it's The Lost Queen by Signe Pike. So this one is introducing Langoreth, a forgotten queen of the 16th century Scotland and sister of the man who inspired the legend of Merlin. I don't even need to know anymore because that sounds perfect. So this is the first book in the Lost Queen trilogy, and I'm very excited to read this. I think this might be one of my next reads if I dare break my Owl's TBR. But yes, yes, yes. And the very last book in this haul, and the very last one I got off of Book Outlet, is the hardcover of Naomi Novik's Spinning Silver. This one was another one that I kind of contemplated on because it was $11 versus like the other ones were all $3 and $4. But I know that Naomi Novik is coming out with a book called A Deadly Education later this year, and it's so funny because the premise of that book is a book that I had written or tried to write when I was like 17 years old. So I was reading this description of this book that was coming out, and I'm like, that's the same description that I would give my book when I first read it. Oh my god! So I am so excited about that book, and I know that people absolutely adore her, so I want to give her other books a try. Not only because of that, because I've been intrigued by them for so long. So I think Spinning Silver is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. Yes? No? I don't know. Miriam is the daughter and granddaughter of moneylenders, but her father's inability to collect his debts has left his family on the edge of poverty, until Miriam takes matters into her own hands. Hardening her heart, the young woman sets out to claim what is owed and soon gains a reputation for being able to turn silver into gold. When an ill-advised boast draws the attention of the king of the grim fey creatures who seem more ice than flesh, Miriam's fate and that of two kingdoms will be forever altered. Set an impossible challenge by the nameless king, Miriam unwittingly spins a web that draws in a peasant girl, Wanda, and the unhappy daughter of a local lord who plots to wed his child to the dashing young Tsar. But Tsar Renacious is not what he seems, and the secret he hides threatens to consume the lands of humans and Stark alike. Torn between deadly choices, Miriam and her two unlikely allies embark on a desperate quest that will take them to the limits of sacrifice, power, and love. So that sounds really cool. Ooh, and it's blurbed by Catherine Arden, the author who wrote The Bear and the Nightingale. So very excited about this. Very, very excited to read a Naomi Novik for the first time. Anyways, friends, that's it from me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what is a recent book that you've hauled that you are so excited about. I'm probably gonna have to go back on a book buying ban for a little while because I have another book that's coming in the mail that was a pre-order from Book Depository of Legacy of Ash, which is a new fantasy, like epic fantasy. It's like 700 pages, which I am so excited about. I'm so excited to read it because I've read the first few chapters because I have the arc of it on NetGalley, but it's one of those books that I just need to read physically. But yes, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that fancy stuff that you're supposed to on YouTube, and I will catch you in another video soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.